Greetings everybody. So we are here yet again at another episode of Unheard. I'm Verol.
I'm Jason.
And we have a guest with us today. So here we have Stephen. Now, I met Stephen a couple years ago. And he reached out to me to be a guest on his podcast, Therapy JA. Check it out. And we had a very interesting conversation. I felt like it started out in one thing and it rolled over into something else, but it was a good conversation, right? Yeah. And we decided to invite him on to our podcast for him to share some stuff with us today. How about Stephen?
Well, what? Hi guys, I'm Stephen Roper. So I am not a therapist, but more of a web designer. So I build websites. And so what happened was my mom wanted me to build her a website because my mom is a life coach. She helps kids with ADHD.
Nice.
Because I have ADHD and that in itself was a controversial thing because to me, I was like, I don't really think I have ADHD. I have ADHD, but it does not affect me in terms of life. Like, you know, people with ADHD can't complete stuff. My ADHD is that I can go off on many tangents, I can do many things, but the difference is I get them done.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of ADHD people will start something but don't finish.
Don't finish it.
I will start something and I'm like, no, I'm getting this done. So that's why I was kind of like, I don't think my ADHD is a hampering my life.
So do you hyper-focus? It's like you hyper-focus on things, or you just say, okay, I know I started this, I just need to get it done, but I'll jump off onto this project and then we'll come again.
Yeah, I will start it and be like, yo, you know, I'll jump on that, hold on, or I'll lose track. But in the back of my mind, because I start something, especially when I tell people I started something, I'm finishing it. I'm not going to be like, oh, no, I'm finishing it. So it was, you know, so my mom, I think that is why she became a life coach, because I'm that. And so she wanted me to build her website. And I think one time I was like typing it in and I was like, yo, therapy, Jamaica, and I really didn't say anything. Like I saw no websites really. You know, I mean, if you know the keywords, you'll find the website. If you know, oh, it's Tea House, oh, it's KAHLE, I was like, you'll find it. But I was like, oh, there's no website that does that for Jamaica or for the Caribbean.
How long ago was this?
So it was like 3 years ago. So in my mind, I was like, yo, I'm going to build a therapy.
3 years?
I was like, yo, I'm going to build a therapy website. So literally, I just said, okay. I found a name. I was like, Therapy Jamaica. Okay, Therapy JA. Paid for it. And I said, all right, I'm going to build the website. Like, built it, and then I was like, well, okay, but I don't really know anybody. So I reached out. I knew Javila. So I reached out to Javila, and she recommended this like psychology website.
Jamaica Psychologist.
Yeah, there. And like I found all of the names and literally added the names in manually. Like started my own database. And the doubt I had was like, okay, I'm not a therapist. So whenever I go to people about this issue, because in my mind I was like, yeah, okay, you know, there's a gap in the market. So let me just build on that. So I was like, it's not like you say, oh yeah, you're going to make money, but you know if there's a gap in the market, you can make money from it. So I was like, you know, I'm building a website where there's a gap. So I said, okay, literally entered every name in manually, build the database, and then I was kind of like, okay, so I built this, but I don't really know how I'm going to really. You know, it's a website, it's cool, but how I'm going to really make it into something more. Because clearly there's a need for it. So I said, all right. So I started using AI, which is people that tell you, oh, AI is amazing. No, like it's AI basically it does not write amazing articles. Because I started with AI articles for the therapy website.
Like what kind of articles?
I would be like, oh, what is the history of mental health in the Caribbean, the history of mental health in Jamaica, and I'll tell ChatGPT, write me an article on that. And they write it, but like, and so I did that for like 2-3 months, where I was posting articles like that. I mean, like, hopefully, it'll come up in the SEO.
Names? Like actual names of Jamaican psychologists?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the database, yeah.
No man, in the article.
No, like from
In the article. No, I don't know nobody. But so I said, all right, cool. So I did that, and then I was talking to my sister, and she was like, yo, the articles, because like my sisters are scholars, so they read. They're like, yo, these articles really aren't saying anything. She's like, yo, you're not gonna get people's attention with these. She's like, yo, why don't you just start interviewing therapists? So I already built a database of, okay, these are the therapists on the island. These is who, you know, and like, I knew the speech therapist. I knew all of the names. I was like, all right, cool. So I said, boy, I don't know how, but you know, I've been shooting for like 16, 17 years. I've been shooting, like photography, video.
Just to be clear, photography, videos.
Yeah, so I know how to shoot, and I work in.
Is that the gun range?
Photography, yeah, shoot, that type of shooting. So you know, like I said, okay, I know how to shoot. I can edit, so I can do interviews. Like I did when I first came to Jamaica, I did like a documentary on reggae. So I said, I know how to shoot. I know how to do interviews, so I can do that. But I know, say, yo, it's a lot of work for the setup. Show up, you know, set your camera up, do the audio. So I say, yo, the easier thing for me to do is to just use Zoom. You know what I mean? Just set up a Zoom call, show somebody, and it's easier to get people because therapists are busy. Therapists don't really have time. So I just started saying, yo, no man, it's a Zoom call, we'll just go talk. Yeah, like those, you know, so I said, all right, talking heads, that is fine because most videos are going to be talking heads anyway. So that was it. That was just basically my formula. I would shoot and reach out to people, shoot the interview, edit it, post it. And so it's my social media, because my thing is always social media. So my social media thing switched. So it was like, you know, you'll post like, oh, these start things and stuff, and that's nice, but it's really not catching people's attention. Video is what really catches people's attention, and it's the fastest way to gain traction for your thing. So, you know, I started like, you know, mind you, I have a lot going on, so I said, all right, man, cut these. Cut like, you know, you start posting a couple, and a couple of them would go like decent. By this time, by the way, I didn't start posting until I had like 6-7 interviews under my belt. So I have enough content where I can say, okay, we'll chop this up, post that, chop this up, post that. But I still know I have to cut these up further to really build traction. Okay. So, you know, I start posting a couple, but they weren't going viral to the level I wanted them to go viral. So I said, all right, I need to kind of switch something up. So I started saying, okay, man, I start doing some controversy things, some Caribbean topics that people like, that will get people attention, let them talk about it. Because once you have the comments going off, like people in the comments are talking, that indicates to the algorithm that people are interacting with your content.
They're engaged.
They're engaged. So it'll share it more to get, you know. So I started some tell me pastor, like their pastor, like my man has not slept with me in 10 years. I think my man sleeping with the helper, them type of thing, you know what I mean? And you ask therapists, you ask a therapist, oh, what do you think about this? You give them the situation, and then say, it's so funny because some ghetto situation where you're asking some people like Verol, you're asking some people like Kai, you know what I mean, or even like some pastor, a really good pastor named Pastor Carlisle, really good counselor. You know what I mean? You ask him, and you know, they give you some very good feedback, and that's when they started to go viral. Like I would get like 75,000 like views. So I get like
on TikTok or across.
This is TikTok. Instagram, like to be honest, like the reels, it still is like I'm still trying to get the hang of reels. Yeah, because I'm at like 150, I think, 150 followers on me. But you know, a couple of girls will come up to me and they say, yo, them see me on them page, or them see a video will go viral. You know, so I think the TikTok has a lot more. TikTok is for discovery. If you want to be discovered, TikTok is the way to go. But a lot of the times with TikTok, you have to figure out how to convert it into actual subscribers. And to get followers is fine because I love TikTok. But to convert it into YouTube and Instagram, that is where it kind of it's work. You know what I mean? So that is like, alright, how do I get, converted to that? So that's kind of how I really started getting into it. And so, mind you, I'm not a therapist. So, because it started to go viral, I'll get a lot of DMs from people like, yo, more schedule an appointment, what is your rate, how much you charge? And I'm always like, hey, I'm not a therapist, but I can recommend you to Kai, I can recommend you to Sonia Winter, which is on Tea House therapy. So I'll just, most of the times I just refer, that was the point of the website in the first place. The point of the website was just basically a directory, and at one point I was trying to turn it into an app, like I designed it and everything, and building an app is a lot harder than to build a website. But my idea was that, okay, I'm going to make it, I need to stop hitting the mic. My idea was, okay, I'm going to make it like a safe space for men, because especially men in the Caribbean, they have a very bad view of mental health, I would say. It's rare that you see a man saying, go to a therapist like that.
All right, before we jump into that, I want us to dial back.
Okay.
Right. In terms of, you said that you have ADHD, and you say you never really accept it, or you never really think. No. So I just want, how old were you when this awareness happened?
It was like after high school. I graduated from high school, and it was kind of an issue. My family was like, high school there was a point where high school got bad, where it was kind of like, it was like a dark period in my life, but I was still getting my grades. I would still, I was still doing good. Looking back, I think it was because I stopped my creative expression, because I'm an artist through and through. I stopped drawing. I went through a period where I didn't draw, because I felt shame attached to drawing, and so I stopped drawing, and I feel like it kind of messed, I felt like I went through a period where it kind of messed me up. Not really messed up, but I feel like I sabotaged relationships. This is in high school, but I sabotaged friendships, sabotaged relationships. And so my family was like, oh, there must be something wrong, you feel like you have ADHD. So I did counselling near the end of my sixth form year. Mind you, I still I got good grades. When I graduated, I had good grades. But I did the counselling and all of that. And when I was in college, they kept pushing on that you have ADHD, you need to do counselling, you should be medicated. I did not like that. I've done the ADHD medication, and it's you kind of feel like a zombie, you lose weight. Did not enjoy it at all. I have a couple other friends who have ADHD, and we're all just kind of we don't have to necessarily, but I didn't like it, I didn't enjoy it. And I graduated college, you know what I mean? So it wasn't, the issue was a lot of times I could not keep a job. There was a period where I just could not keep a job. You know what I mean? Where it was just and I think that was kind of why they would always harp back to, oh, you have ADHD. ADHD is why you're not keeping a job. And my defense was always no, the job is just not for me. I just don't feel like I get along with the people at the job. I just don't think it's not my thing. So there was a point where, it was bad, but I think now I'm my shit together. So, you know what I mean? I'm making my money, I have a stable job.
Okay. And so you accepted as, all right, then fine. ADHD is a thing for me.
Of course, yeah, man.
And so, as an adult, you were talking, so you did therapy for a while. What led to, you don't have to be very specific, but what led to the decisions as a man? I'm going to seek therapy and I'm going to stick with it.
Oh, no, man. I've always enjoyed therapists, and the therapists used to always enjoy our conversations. No, man, I've always believed that, all right, so my thing was always, I started told the first therapist I did, I was you kind of how you go to the doctor for a physical checkup every 6 months to a year. You should go to the doctor to do a mental checkup every 6 months to a year to see what is going on, what is up with you emotionally. So that was always my philosophy. So, throughout all this time, even when I was dead broke, I found a way to get a therapist. When I was in New York, I think my therapist, I was it was kind of it was them time they must have brought, bro. I think there was it was a program they had. You do the therapist, you get a card, we call it the swipe, the train subway card. Afterwards, or sometimes they would give you like a $5. So I always had a. It was like there's a program that had like a Medicare program in New York. So I always had like a therapist. I always had someone I would see. And I would see her like once a month. And even during that time, I also had like my pastor at Brooklyn Tab. I would see like once a week. You know what I mean? Doing talk, doing Bible study. So I've always been kind of like, nah, man. I'm very much a advocate for mentorship, advocate for counseling. That's why I'm like, even though I'm still pushing for, build a website. Even though I'm not a therapist, I'm very passionate about it because I understand the importance of the importance of mentorship, having somebody in your corner. As men, because as men, we really don't have the level of mentorship as the women have. I feel like women have it a lot easier in terms of having a support group, having a support system. Men don't really get that. You know what I mean? I don't think I had that as much growing up. I never had that level of support.
Question. Do you think, and Jason, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, do you think it's a situation where men genuinely don't have it? One, or men are hesitant in accessing it, or three, right? Men should just create it and just do their thing.
No, I feel like actually no, sorry, you can go and drum it down.
Alright, so I think it's like it's all three technically. It is all three, because I do think that there are certain societal contexts where that support does not exist. And so they would have to do option 3, which is created. But I do think that there are those places where you do get that mentorship. For some people, it's like something like cadets.
Yeah.
You know? So you have something like cadets, or if you are a part of a church, there is like some kind of fellowship there. I mean, it depends on the church. I would say it depends on
Men fellowship is nothing?
Men's fellowship in a bro, but I just think church. I think there are a lot more women in the church than men, and I feel like a lot of times I do not think that women should really be advising or mentoring men in the church when it comes to the church context. Is that a controversial thing?
Slightly.
You think so?
Yeah, only slightly.
Let me give you my reason. I think one, I think a lot of the dilemmas that men face, I think women should not be. Let's be honest, especially in the church. Main thing man never go through in a church, bro. Porn addiction. Porn addiction is massive for like Christians in the faith. A man telling a woman, say, man, I struggle with porn addiction. The woman might want to take away herself a little bit or feel it's not as
especially when you go into the details of what type of porn and how often.
Exactly what your issues are. I don't think women, and I said this a lot because I feel like when I'm mad, like, okay, there's a thing where I say where men, if you're vulnerable with a woman, that the vulnerability is not earned, where this is not your family or this is not your wife, you will suffer the consequences for being vulnerable to that woman. As a man. Yeah.
I'll say this. So I kind of do agree with what you're saying. So I guess what I'm about to say is gonna kind of boost what you're saying a little bit, but maybe take away a little bit as well. Because like to me, a big part of why porn addiction or many addictions really happen is because
shame.
Big part of it is shame. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, shame.
But I think another part of that exacerbates the shame is the fact that the boys are like, okay, I need to stop doing this. And so they put in this effort to stop, not realizing that it actually is going to just make it even worse.
Yeah.
Now, you don't need to be a man specifically to say that.
Yeah.
You could be a man and say it, you could be a woman and say it. But it's really the understanding behind it.
Yeah, women. As I said, the issue I've had, and I've had women mentors in the church, and it's like, in my mind I was like, boy, I felt like I regretted being vulnerable to the person because I realized, I realized, I felt like the person lost respect. You know what I mean? And it was a mentor I really liked. But I felt like, and I don't think she realized it, because even when I spoke to her about it afterwards, I felt like the relationship was not the same, and I just kind of was like, man, okay. So I think the church, trust me, I've had the church, when it comes from counseling, bro, I feel like that pastor would have to be like trained. Like have a degree in psychology or have some specific study in counseling. Because I think a lot of pastors do not understand, one, the thing of confidentiality. I remember a story of a pastor that was struggling with sin. He was wrestling with it. And so he went to another pastor, but the pastor was like a state, like it was far, he wasn't in the same state as him. And so that pastor recommended him, go to your church, talk to, your senior. And that pastor, the senior he went to, decided that the right thing was to do was to expose the sin in front of to the congregation.
Thereby increasing shame.
Yeah. Ruined the reputation of the man. Man after left the church. So, and I remember the pastor was saying that the guy that recommended it said, he didn't want to kill the pastor. Like, he didn't want to kill the pastor. What did that? You know what I mean? So I think a lot of pastors, and I think that's the issue I have with the church. I think people in leadership do not have the empathy nor the work, nor have they studied to do the work of counseling. It's not the Holy Spirit. You also have to have one, the skill. The skill. You have to have the skill of it, and you have to have the understanding of it.
Awareness.
Yeah, the awareness. Thank you. The awareness.
Awareness.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm not. So I agree. You have some good ministries. You have some good men's fellowship in the church. 100%.
I'll give you. All right. Let me ask you another one. Another maybe ish one. School guidance counselor.
No.
I'd love to hear more on that. I know why I am laughing, but I'd love to hear more on that.
I had a bad experience with a school guidance counselor when I was in school.
Tell us more.
No, it was just bad. No, man. It was bad. It was bad because it was kind of like... man, I mean, once. It was bad.
Okay, all right, say less.
It was just bad. It was just kind of like, it was one, she made an error, I opened up about my depression. And it was like near the end of it, she was basically like, I did not know you. When it blew up, she's like, you did not tell me. Like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I was just like, oh boy. This is in high school. So I would say, I don't know. I don't want to say, I would say no. It depends on the guidance counselor, but no.
All right, I think I have to jump in here.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I've heard the horror stories in the schools, especially in high schools, from students, from parents, from other teachers about guidance counselors. Right? I've heard the horror stories. I've been hearing these horror stories since I was a student in high school. Yeah. Right? How guidance counselors check students' business with their colleagues, and like regular subject teachers have their students' business that I tell them back in a class. Right?
Yes, no worries.
So I've heard these stories. Having worked as a guidance counselor, I think that it's a high-pressure environment, and therefore the guidance counselors have a responsibility to remember confidentiality, ethics, being non-judgmental, and doing what is in the best interest of the child. Right? Sometimes that the child may not like it. Yeah. Because if a child comes and says, well, I have thought about harming myself.
Right? Yeah, it was one of those.
Right? The guidance counselor has a responsibility to call the parents and say, hey, this is a concern, this is what someone's revealed to me, and so on. I've had students being upset with me because I've had to do that, but at the same time, we're working it out because for me, I try to be very transparent. So look, remember, this is the situation, Yeah. Right? And then there are other things that we're going to sit down and talk about. That I don't need to tell your parents about that. I don't need to tell anybody about that because you come to me, you trust me, and whatever we're talking about, it's pretty much normal adolescent development.
Yeah.
It's normal adolescent development. So I get it. I've heard it, and it's sad because our children. That is the first person you should be able to go to talk, and unfortunately, a lot of our kids don't see it that way.
No.
So that's all.
When I was in high school, I don't know if I did have anybody like that.
Disheartening.
Comfortable like that. No, dog. You got somebody like that in high school you're comfortable like talking to?
An adult.
An adult.
Yeah, an adult, sure.
An adult.
Yeah, an adult in high school, you were like, you couldn't tell anything like that? I never had anything.
I didn't necessarily.
Not at school. I can talk to my pastor.
Okay.
Yeah.
At school, I didn't really have the need to talk like that. If I needed to talk to someone of their persons, I could. I'll go to church, so I could talk to older like aunties at church. So and then family members too. I could talk in my family.
Yeah, good like that safe space. Like
my thing, my dark years.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
it was more so me keeping things in because I needed to process that, and I found art. So so I was able to create, which was very helpful.
Which is good, yeah. I think a big part of maturity is understanding. So, boy, in your teenage years, your mind not fully developed. You don't have like it with that.
And I didn't have the language.
What do you mean?
I recognize that there are things going on from in me, like I feel this way, but I can't explain
You can't
it.
verbalize it.
So it became a situation where you're like, yo, I'm being misunderstood. But years later, I looking back, no, dog, like you never understand yourself, so how you expect other people to understand you, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, but then I found Linkin Park.
Hey, really? Happy theory?
All of them, minutes to midnight.
Using the guitar.
Right?
Classic.
And Linkin Park gave me the words that I didn't have.
Man, Linkin Park was my shit growing up, bro. I'm so mad I didn't get to see a concert, especially because he died. Like,
Chester.
Chester.
They're coming back now, though.
Yeah,
but it's not the same. I listened
it's not the same.
I listened to some stuff. I respect you, know, and I will still listen, but it's not the same, you know.
I was like, gentlemen, I really wish I could have. I wish I went to a Linkin Park concert, bro.
I mean, Chester wrote it, so it makes sense. Well, Chester and Mike wrote it, so it makes sense that you want to see them. They're pretty, like your heroes, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not calling them heroes still, but.
I will.
Yeah.
In the sense of everything else, but then the end was pretty sad.
It's it's very sad about the suicide thing. I think that is always a sobering thing for me, especially because of how many men are willing that wrestle with that, especially suicidal ideation. But I think that's kind of why it's always important for me. Where I'm like, yo, let me make sure it's easy to have a safe space. And it's funny, one of the pastors I spoke to said this to me. He was like, men don't like counselling. So a lot of times what he does is he will say, yo, let's hold our reason.
Counselling is foolishness.
Well, yeah, man. But you say, yo, men don't like counselling, so when we say, yo, I hold a reason, I will go like a bar, you know what I mean, go like a place, and we just hold a reasoning, but it's really a counselling session. But you just call it, yo, I hold a reason, you know what I mean?
Please note, I said that a while ago because that is the sentiment of many men. Verol Billett do that. I do not believe Verol Billett. As Verol Billett, I do not believe that therapy is foolishness. I think it's a wonderful thing, but I think that how it has been presented traditionally, it comes off as a woman thing, a female thing. But I firmly believe that there are different approaches to therapy. So as I said a while ago, having a reasoning session, it can be very therapeutic. It can, you're a trained therapist and you're out there by the seaside, sitting down, talking, nobody's around, everybody's comfortable. Can that be a therapy session?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic.
I know of sessions happening out in a garden space, by the seaside, by Palisados on the strip, just sit down, nobody around, just can't talk, you know, right? And it's therapy, right? Playing games in therapy is therapy.
What kind of games?
I work with boys a lot. A lot. I've done ping pong. I've done basketball. I've done football, dominoes, card games, tic-tac-toe,
Uno?
Uno.
Oh, yeah.
God have mercy. Like the amount of games I've done, but there's a therapeutic lesson when you slow down these games. Right? When you slow down these games and you look at the various elements, there's so many life lessons that you can get from these games. For example, dominoes. It's 2 of us, so that's about 14 in each hand, right? Please note, the dominoes, when you shuffle the dominoes, well, even the whole concept of shuffling talks about, you look at it, controlling self. Because you don't want to get too wild. Drawing, life gives you whatever hand. You don't know what kind of hand you can get. So when you pull, and you look at that, your aim is to win the game. In life, you just have to play the best hand you possibly have. So
this is what you're saying to them while
or we play the game and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Right? If your aim is to play the game and win, you didn't know what hand you're going to get. You may think you have the crappiest hand. But if you meds it, you can think about it and play the best hand possible and still win the game. But if you get in that space where you keep on blocking the game, how are you going to advance yourself? So those are some of the things that I found to be very useful.
That's a very good analogy especially when you're counseling. You know what I mean? And do they respond to it well? Like how do they internalize it and apply it?
Depending on the age, some is excitement all the time. For some, hold on, stop. Oh, okay. And we start to see progress because it gives them something that is not just fun, but something that they can always remember, the experience of it. They will remember it, and when what I've gotten in response is, this week I really had to stop and think about my next move. Like all Jenga. Jenga is a lot of physics, right? Please don't remember the physics, right? But you have to think about action and consequences. If I pull on this block, if I do this and I realize it's not budging, does it really make sense to pull?
Let me look somewhere else.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
And so the principles are taught, reinforced, and then they take it and apply it in real life. And we see progress.
That's really good.
It makes sense.
That's really tough. And this has been it helps a lot for them.
Oh yeah.
These are teenagers or
teenagers and primary school kids.
Oh.
So they come in. What are we playing today? All right, what do you want to play?
Okay, what do you think is the main cause for these kids? Is it poverty? Is it money? Is it abusive homes?
For what?
For them coming into
For me, a lot of it has been being diagnosed with ADHD.
ADHD affecting them that much? Is that bad?
Because a part of it is emotional dysregulation, acting before thinking, social behavioral issues, just general behavioral issues, feeling as if they're being heard. Some persons are from a single mother household, so they specifically request a male therapist because they need the child is approaching that age where they're not listening to mommy anymore. Our mommy don't understand firsthand the development of a young boy.
Facts.
And they need a translator.
They need a father figure. So alright, is there a point where some of them come back to you and be like, you help me do this, or is it still an ongoing thing? Because I think a lot of times men can say, but boy, the problem they have with them is that they feel like the problems are just not being solved and just talking about them.
Oh, I make it very clear. I don't think therapy is for life for most of my clients.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
What are our goals? All right. This is how we go and try. Because I make it very clear, I do not fix people and I don't work miracles. Okay? I don't think I should be with you for life. You come to me for this, let's work through this. If we identify other things along the way, fine. But it's a constant conversation. I'm walking with you on this journey. I'm not here to change you. It's for you to uncover what you need to uncover, find your solutions, and go on and live your life. Because I don't want to build dependence. I don't want to build dependence. You need to live your life. And my aim is to help you find ways in which you can do so at your very best.
How long does the recovery, how long is a process you feel where a client comes in, y'all go through it, and then there's a point where it's kind of the visits become less and less to a point where you feel like...
It depends on the client and it depends on how often we've been working together, right, Jason? Right? Because it can be every week, every other week. Every once a month. Okay. And I've had some clients where like, all right, 1, 2, all right, check it sometime down the road.
Yeah, right? I think I'm at that point.
And to be fair, I have to recognize that therapy can be expensive. Therapy can be expensive, and so
gym cheaper.
My thing is to work with what we have. What can work for you, man? Because I don't want to add stress to you. I'll challenge you, but I don't want to add stress.
Well, add good stress.
Yeah.
That first episode we were talking about.
Right.
What stress? Workplace type stress?
No, I feel like the you stress, which is like the good stress, the necessary stress. Like you were giving the example of working out, right? So you would see how you need that stress to build muscle,
build yourself,
right? And so, but at the same time, you don't want to overdo it, overextend yourself, and then actually pull a muscle, and then you get actually sidelined and you can't even work out. It's a similar thing emotionally or mentally, where there are certain things that are challenging and we like the challenge. Like when we're talking about playing the games. You want to play the game because you're not sure if you're going to win. There's a fun in the challenge, right? But at the same time, it's like you still have to kind of learn strategy and how you do this, how you do that. So there's thinking involved. But of course, if it's too challenging, too taxing, then you're just defeating the purpose. That's distress. Okay.
What exactly? Give me an example of something you feel like is emotionally too challenging.
I like how the interviewer has become the
I'm just asking.
I do this when they happen. Because it's at the same time, I know you had your questions. So I'm I was just joking.
It's cool. Yeah.
Sorry, repeat the question.
Can you say, all right, what is something that's emotionally challenging or taxing?
Losing your job.
I mean, that's an excellent one.
Losing your job.
Oh, Christ. Oh, man. Have you ever lost a job? No.
I've had to quit that job.
You've had to quit that job?
Yeah, because the environment was
way toxic. Yeah.
I said, the reason I pause is outside of being a guidance counselor for 2 years and 8 months. That was steady. But then I thought about having lost out on opportunities. And opportunities that you really I was really looking forward to.
Okay.
And I'm oh, okay. But the thing is, based on how I am, I can acknowledge that I have certain resources that others don't, because my bounce back period, chances are, is going to be less than other people, because I'm all right, lost this opportunity. I acknowledge what I'm feeling, and I kind of need to grieve it depending on how significant it was and whatever plans I had already started for that. I'm all right then, but here's what, something else is going to come along, or I shift my focus to something else.
I tell you, I'm going to lose so much jobs in my lifetime. I'm brag, but I've lost so many jobs, bro. I'm just yo, man, it's...
Do you find that you work better with people or specific people, or is it you work better alone?
I just think some jobs office job, bro, where I stack files and my work in Excel, that is not me. I'm not, you know what I mean? And it was just I just remember I just had some experiences that's Channel dog. You know, especially you don't want to tell your parents. You know, your parents find out, so you're just like, oh man, I'm not going to tell anybody. But then somehow them find out, and then them call, you lose the job, and I'm like, oh man. No man, yeah. So I think I definitely understand my son more, and I think man, I work best. I work in small groups. I feel like I work well in small groups. And when it comes to like creative stuff, bro, like I really just enjoy when like I'm on my own, like them give me what they want to do. I do it, I send it off, you know what I mean? And then most of the times you have like some feedback session. I think I'm in that flow now where most of what I do and want to make my money is like, man, I'm on my own. Like I design something, send it off, and they'll give me the feedback and I'm like, alright, make changes, send it back, and I get my check. You know what I mean? So like I'm very much like I kind of understand, oh wow, I work best small groups or on my own. Like people that if I'm micromanaged, no, I can't. I can't do that. It's funny because I was saying that I think there's a boom in like the interest of mental health, but I think there's also a level of the system that we are under is so dehumanizing that there's a need for mental health. Because I feel like the topic of mental health and therapy and counseling, I don't think that's a new thing. I feel like we think it is, but I feel like the systems that we had prior was never this bad, where I feel like capitalism is so dehumanizing and so like alienating that people need therapy to cope, to do their jobs.
And it permeates everything. So then at the same time, you still need the money to even go to therapy.
Exactly. And when you don't have the money for therapy, that add on to your stress. You know, your therapist will say, man, 15,000. You're like, oh Lord, the stress, dog. We not have money there, dog. Yeah, so I mean, there's a level of, I think capitalism kind of affects our mental health now where we need therapy to this level.
To add to that conversation, the whole concept of burnout in the workplace has been a huge thing. But you need to work to how you master that. And people talking about, work-life balance and you need to try and strike that thing. But you need to work, you have family, right? Marriage problems, picnic problems, right? Then all that combined lead to health problems. You go to the doctor, and doctor say, well, I realize that there's this. You need to go to this specialist, and then apart from that, you realize you're emotional dysregulated. You need to seek out that. So it all adds up, but you still have to work.
When most people come into you guys' practice, what I'm asking, what is the stress? Is it like family? Is it money? Like what is it? What you guys get?
They bleed into each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so like what is the main cause that come in where you feel like, oh, Jano, like...
It's hard to say the main.
Relationships / family.
Okay. So is it communication?
I need to do like my flow chart of like.
No, the reason
I'm really not sure.
the reason I react to like that is because I feel like communication is in everything.
Everything, yeah.
So and then work is also
I'm telling
a
you,
reason.
that when I went to that interview, man, because I feel like work. I feel like there's such a toxic work culture in Jamaica.
And the work one, there's so many other sub branches to that, and then health. So people receive diagnoses that they need help with coping with or working through or adjusting. Grief and loss.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That is like
or there are other for children behavioral
abuse.
Behavioral issues. So as I mentioned before, there are some kids they've been diagnosed with ADHD because of what else. So they need to learn how to adjust and how to regulate themselves, how to slow things down cognitively so that things kind of make sense for them. I mentioned family already, and then persons will have like diagnosed with like personality disorders and other mental health challenges.
Schizophrenia type person.
Schizophrenia. Just mental health, autism.
What is okay? Because I know autism is like on the that's a
It's a
spectrum. What causes autism? Is that because you have some people that are anti-vax?
What causes autism, Stephen?
I'm so glad that we're talking about this. Yeah, let's set the record straight. Go ahead, start.
You ask me?
because up to now we still don't have.
Nobody knows.
We don't have a set.
It's a neurodevelopmental disorder.
So,
I mean, the notion that vaccines cause it, there's literally no evidence of that.
To support that.
The Wakefield guy was publicizing that. I mean, he got disbarred and he had to take back what he said. This has been known for like at least a decade now.
Okay.
People still believe it because people.
Why do people believe this?
They want explanation for why this is.
I can't lie to you though. Like autism, man, that is, especially when you see it in families, like, man, this must be so difficult. This is gonna be so expensive for them. Will the child be completely dependent on the parent for the rest of their life?
So
like,
I feel like when people think of autism, they just have this one picture of what autism looks like, and that is so far from the truth. It's a spectrum. It is a spectrum. So you can legit see somebody working in an office space.
Okay.
And they're on the spectrum.
I mean, I think, yes, but it can be so frustrating for the parents here. He might have ears, he not a sense. I like, no, he's on the spectrum. He might not see that.
Or that is also true. I've also heard that for kids with ADHD.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not. One of the things I've heard is, that's just an excuse.
Yeah.
And it's legit not.
Yeah, I think some people have the argument that ADHD is not a real thing.
Especially if they have not been informed, educated, and for them to find ways to help themselves cope with the challenges. And I think too that it's time that we recognize that it's not all doom and gloom.
I mean, I just think it's, especially when it's a child, and a parent will always be worried about their child.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So, because there's a woman at my church, and their child is clearly has autism. Is clearly autistic.
That's your perspective, your opinion.
Dog, the child is clearly autistic.
Some people present with those symptoms fairly pronouncedly.
Okay.
So, if you say so, there might be.
I mean,
It's your opinion on that.
I mean, okay. Well, I'm just kind of,
You think that the child is autistic?
She have her hands full.
Okay.
It's just like a general. You know what I mean? You always think, oh man, what is it going to be like to raise a kid? That is, so my fear. I don't want someone judgmental, but I am very much afraid. I'm afraid that something would be wrong with my child when I have kids. You know what I mean? Like I said, boy, my hope it doesn't happen to my child. I hope it doesn't have, because it's such a issue where you're like you don't know how to deal with it.
But I've heard parents who have said that before they had children, they hope the same thing, and I think that is pretty normal. But when they had the child and they realized, okay, this is the reality, it does make them love the child any less.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely.
And they are able to find ways to cope. Like they are their children's greatest advocate, and like they couldn't see it any other way.
I don't mean to cut you. Finish your point.
No, go ahead.
No, like okay, so like, is there like a spectrum where it's okay? This person is slightly socially awkward, can't pick up on social cues. Then it's he cannot function. He's not able to work. Is it like is that the spectrum, or is it more just slow, socially awkward, misses out on cues?
So there's different levels based on the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders. We're now at version 5, TR text provision. And so The higher the level, the more severe the presentation. And so it may be that, yes, you have some persons who probably won't be able to work. They're probably dependent on. They can have comorbidities too, which means that in addition to, like, for example, autism, they may have like
A learning disorder.
a learning disorder, intellectual
Intellectual disabilities.
yeah.
So like a Rain Man type of thing. You remember the movie Rain Man?
You know, I never watched that.
Classic.
Yeah. It's like a mild, moderate, severe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it can.
What was the movie you saw that was like autism in it, where it kind of introduced it?
I don't think it was a movie, you know. I think it was probably like a TV show, but now I'm trying to remember which one. Like it was like
Was it Good Doctor? You remember Good Doctor?
That was.
Yeah, he was autistic.
He was on the spectrum.
No, I mean like a cartoon. That's what I mean.
Cartoon?
Yeah, like I'm trying to really like. No, that's where I feel like this was the first time. But now I'm really trying to remember like.
How about you?
I knew about autism from high school.
What, like you didn't see it in media or? Because Rain Man, I remember Rain Man and I was like, oh, that is wow.
I watched.
It was.
I had to.
That's what it was.
Weekenders?
It was on Disney.
Yeah.
And it was.
Who was on the spectrum in that?
What's his name? No, I don't remember his name was like Lump or something.
Lumper was on the spectrum?
Alright. In terms of like the stereotype?
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering, because like there was a certain kind of like restricted speech, very fixed interest, that kind of thing.
Huh.
But you see, that's the thing. It's like you would look at the kid and you might say that, but you don't necessarily know for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't do like a
deep dive. You didn't do no deep dive.
And it was a minor character too.
Yeah. That's interesting, bro.
I watched Rain Man. I had to watch Rain Man for abnormal psych in order for us to diagnose.
Rain Man, I was like,
Wait, you watched it in undergrad?
yeah, dog.
Abnormal. We had every week. We had
it gave like a cool. It just made it like kind of cool. Like, oh, he's autistic, but he also has like this very good and specific.
A lot of them do.
Yeah.
You know what that Beautiful Mind?
That was a part of the lineup too.
That was schizophrenia, and that scared me when I was there. That was so scary to me, bro. Like to have like a literal conversation with someone that's not there. I was always just like, yo, that is so scary. You know what I mean? I think, you know, I had like a couple friends that smoked weed and it triggered a psychosis, which I feel like a lot of us underestimate just how unhealthy it is, like how ganja really triggers psychosis as well as bipolar disorder in a lot of people, especially in Jamaica, that people do not kind of talk. People don't talk about it at all, and I'm always kind of like, yeah, I think you guys should not be smoking weed. You need to check like your family's health.
Yeah.
But there's this one guy where like had a psychotic episode after smoking weed, and I was just like, man. And there's another one recently, actually, my neighbor, where had a psychotic episode, talked to himself, talked to people are not there. So it's just like those type of things that's always scared me. And I was just like, Jano, man, that is such a scary thing to go through. You know what I mean? I hope I'm not like.
No. I've seen the opposite too, where like the person had schizophrenia, then started smoking weed, and then the symptoms decreased.
What?
Really?
It works different for different people. Yeah. It's different for different people. And
that's a good defense.
Think of it this way, like, I can't answer that. Let's think of it. Bob Marley smoked weed.
Okay.
Right? Tosh smoked weed. Not people did smoke weed, and they were fine. But we do know of people who have smoked, and it didn't benefit them at all. They were trying to mask pain and trying to mask certain symptoms or certain problems with it.
So why is it that for some people ganja just becomes like a straight up like addiction?
Because they're using it to run away from stuff.
So you
just like with every addiction.
Yeah.
So you think it's the cope? It's
a negative coping mechanism because
they're definitely using it for that. Some people use it for recreation and they never get addicted.
But you don't think that people should be a lot more careful with how they're smoking weed? Like you feel like you don't think that's
today when like it's been decriminalized, right? And there was even like some stuff in the media. I think if it wasn't early this year, it was late last year, where mushrooms were, available, were made way more available. And that's not decriminalized. It was never criminalized. It was legal the whole time. But shrooms is like a whole different kind of thing because like that experience can be so much more, I don't know what the word is, more of a trip.
Yeah,
that's the word it is. It's more of a trip.
And people feel like happy when they're on shrooms, right? When they trip on shrooms.
Depends on the dosage.
Have you done shrooms?
Can't answer that. But
really, can't answer that?
I can't answer that right now.
Okay, hold on.
I can talk to you afterwards.
Yeah, sure. But in your guys' work experience, how many psychosis has been triggered from mushrooms and ganja?
I don't use mushrooms in my practice because I'm not trained to do so. Hopefully one day.
You feel like mushrooms is helpful?
Psilocybin, that's the psilocybin. The Jamaican Psychological Society currently has a committee now, or a few persons are on a committee looking to how we can do this properly because the research is very promising in helping persons work through their mental health challenges.
It's helpful, it's very helpful.
Yeah.
But I guess, again, it is dependent on how it is done.
Okay. So, like, what kind, is it like bipolar?
I'm not armed.
That is very interesting.
The research has shown that they were using for bipolar.
Yeah. It
was psilocybin mushrooms assisted talk therapy.
Really?
Yeah.
To what? You don't know to the level?
I mean, it was still like, an introductory thing. I think they were maybe going to spend more time with it. But the people who had the shrooms were, they had responded to treatment better than the control group.
Okay.
I have to look up that.
That is very, very interesting.
So that goes to show you, like, people will use it for different reasons.
A couple weeks ago, I went to a men's retreat. I was invited to a men's retreat. Unfortunately, I wasn't there for that part where they had a psilocybin mushrooms ceremony, and those who attended had the opportunity to ingest, and they were guided through their own experiences.
Yeah, would you guys do like ayahuasca? Would you guys do like those group trips? People that go on groups and they take
It's been done here.
To do what?
Y'all did ayahuasca here?
Not
I didn't get that. What?
Ayahuasca. You know ayahuasca?
I don't know that.
Really? Alright, so it's a plant-based drug. A couple of my friends went to Peru and did it. Okay. Yeah, and she swears by it. She had a life-altering experience. She saw herself. I've also heard of negative effects where people kind of could come back and quit them job. Just thought, what I mean? It completely. So, I don't know the group. What was the Native? I don't want to say Native American, but it's the Peruvian people. They used it as kind of a spiritual thing. They would access the spiritual realm to get answers to you know what I mean. Okay. So they have monetized it in more of a tourism type of, it's like for white people that want to find themselves. So they charge this whole heap of money, and you take a drink, you drink it, and it's like a lot of people will throw up, and then them just go in they wig out and they go into this thing. I'm petrified of all drugs. I'm scared weed, mushrooms. I take lions to make mushrooms because I love them. They're very good.
Yeah, there's no psychedelic.
Yeah, there's no psychedelic. It just, you get a lot more focus. So I take lion and make mushrooms. But
do you drink alcohol?
Like what? Like alcohol?
Yeah.
I try. I'm a social drinker. I'll take one drink, but I'm probably not even going to finish it. I don't drink. I'm not that heavy of a drinker. Because normally when I drink, I think my true personality comes out, and I'm very quiet. I get very. If I get drunk, I get very quiet. I'll fall asleep, or you know what I mean. I'll become So that's what I mean when I say true personality. Okay. You know what I mean. It's not like I'm but I try not
dancing
to
on tabletops.
Yeah. Oh no.
That's other people.
Yeah, that's other people. My thing is I'll just get very quiet and very I'll pass out type.
Question. Earlier you mentioned like with the therapy GA idea, you wanted to create a safe space for men. First of all, for you, describe this concept of safe space.
Bro, I would say
This is actually a good question.
I would say it is having someone where I feel like I can share my issues and get good feedback, and it's not patronizing feedback, it's actually honest or brutally honest type of like, yo, this is what you need to do better. I remember I had a conversation this week with a very good editor. So one of my brethren's father, but I've never spoke with him about video editing. But I was really going through a lot at work, and I was just kind of like, damn it, man, I felt so frustrated. And I called him, like I just gave my brother, and I was like, yo, give me a father number, call him. And he gave me like such a good like talk. And I was just like, man. So I have counseling and safe space outside of my art, but I don't feel like I've never had like a mentor in my art. So I feel like I have like, I'm a part of like, I'm a part of a men's group. I'm a part of like a sex addict recovery group, and it's like it's actually a very healthy group. So it's like a lot of married men that are struggling with divorce, and like you hear their talks, and you're just kind of like, man, okay, this is what I need to watch out for when I get married, because you know what I mean. Like you understand how it's really easy to ruin relationships, in that group, and I'm a part of. What other group am I part of? I'm like a good like Christian like men's, where it's like where I'm normally the safe space, where the man will normally call me, and I'll be like non-judgmental, encouraging, giving advice, and just being motivated. But a safe space for me, is just like having someone where I can feel safe with and just open up and talk. And I think in the past couple months, I feel like I've had that. I've had that more from church, from some very good like pastors and counselors.
Okay.
Than
The reason I asked that question is because time goes by pretty fast. I'm guessing some months ago, I was in a forum, and with an all-male panel, we were talking about male mental health, and that was the gist of it. And the whole talk about safe space came up, and I want to always talk about creating safe spaces for men, for children, and for everybody.
Yeah.
And one of the men on the panel made a very good point. Because in my head, it's just common sense, right? That when people talk about safe space, and especially talking to their women, their partners, it's important to have a good understanding of what someone's safe space looks like, or what it feels like, or what are the qualities that would contribute to them feeling safe in a space, right? So as a woman, your safe space is this. It doesn't automatically mean that it's going to be the same for your man.
Facts.
Or your safe space for your brother is this, because you grew up together and this is what it always worked. But it doesn't necessarily mean that this is what is going to work for your man.
Can I actually say something to that? And then we can, I guess, go into the ask a therapist thing.
Okay.
All right. So one, I like what you guys just said. But Steven just said something that was actually like kind of important, and I was kind of like looping on that for a little bit. The brutally honest thing, because there's a question there, isn't there, in terms of like, if a space is safe, is the honesty brutal? It might need to be.
It might need to be, especially for men.
So drop me from.
But sometimes you might not be able to handle it, and it might actually cause a problem.
No,
so it depends.
I'm gonna say this, dog. Like I think a lot of people mistake being brutal as being helpful, when really they're just being assholes.
That is also true.
You know what I mean? Where they're like, oh, I'm just being blunt, or I'm just telling you like it is. I'm like, no,
I'm just being honest.
Yeah, that's
You could have been honest with kindness.
Yeah, that's not what you're doing. You know what I mean? So I think I've always had healthy honesty, where I've had brutal, and it's hard. It's not constructive. It's just an excuse to be an asshole. Like I've had that. But I've also had some good where it's like, no man, that is not where it comes from love. You know what I mean? Especially in Christianity where it's coming from love. You're speaking the truth in love. Where it's like, no man, that is not what you mean. You know what I mean? There's a level of understanding and grace. So it's not being brutal, it's being honest, but it's coming from love. And as I said, as you said, there is like you have to call it out, but you're coming from a place of love. But I think my thing is now just that you have too many people that really just want to be mean. You know what I mean? It's not a matter of being helpful, it's just like you just want to be an asshole because you can. You know what I mean? So I would say there's brutal honesty, but it's brutal with love. And yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. Oh, you wanted to ask what that is?
Yeah, we're around that
Hold up. What time is it? Really? All right, hold up. Oh wow, it's 7 o'clock. All right. Where is it? Let's do this one. Let me see. Alright. Here we go. Let's try this one. This is a basic one. Alright.
You see where you went to?
Right? Wow, of all the places.
I have 2 girlfriends and I love them both. Recently they found out about each other and they are cursing each other. I do not know what to do with myself because I do not want to lose either of them. I am living with one of my brothers and his wife. One of the girls is of light complexion and my brother's woman knows her. She likes her, so she's telling me to drop the other girl and stick with the brownie. My brother's wife is creating some problems for me because the girl came to see me and I was not at the house. She let her in and gave her clothes to spend the night. When I went home, I had taken the other girl with me. My brother's wife was asleep. She said she was trying to tell me that I had a visitor to inform me that the other girl was here. I said to the one at the house, you'd have to leave because I did not expect you here. But she refused to leave and started to cuss the other girl. She told her that she should leave me alone because she was with me before she pushed herself on me. My sister-in-law woke up and apologized to me. She said that she didn't know I was taking the other girl to spend the night. She told me my light-skinned girlfriend that she can stay with her in her children's room. I lost control of myself and I used some indecent language. I really told my sister-in-law some things, and when my brother came home, she told him that I said expletives to her. He and I almost got into a fight, and that has never happened before. I got into my car and took the girlfriend who accompanied me to the house to a hotel. Hey, I have asked my sister-in-law pardon for using expletives to her, but since that night she hasn't been talking to me. Both of these girls are very stressed. I do not know what to do. My brother said I should find a place to go, but I know he's talking more nonsense because I'm paying most of the rent. But I respect him because he's my oldest brother and I was wrong to curse his wife. I know I cannot continue with these 2 girls. Help me to make a decision. What do you guys think?
You want to go first?
Go right ahead.
Okay.
Remember last yesterday's episode? But there's so much going on. Go right ahead, Jason.
Alright, so you remember when you were talking about that Jenga thing before?
Yeah.
Right? This is a great demonstration of how someone can construct something that is so shaky that if you move anything, it's going to fall apart.
Okay.
And that's really what happened.
Okay.
So to me, I'm looking at it and I'm like, first things first, I'm like, all right, let's kind of set an understanding of what just happened, right?
Yeah.
Because of certain decisions that you made, right, it has led to this. There was dishonesty, right? But it benefited you. You had these 2 relationships with these 2 girls. Okay, cool, right? But you're not really being honest. First thing, so outside of just like setting the groundwork of like how all these different things led to what happened, right? Because it's important, because a lot of people some people actually have a challenge making those causal relationships. So we need to kind of do that. That's number 1. Number 2, I would then say, all right, what is the fascination with having multiple women? Is it a cultural thing? Is it just like, I just have a lot of sexual energy?
That stage of life where you just want to explore.
That stage of life?
But hold on, bro, guys. So, you don't think girls like when more than one woman like them, like half a guy? You don't think that women say that as attractive?
No, I know that there are some women out there.
That's what was said last week.
What?
I said the way to get a girl is to have a girl.
Of course, always.
See,
Yeah,
always.
I do know that there are women out there who they will not go after a guy unless they know that the guy is with another
has to be
woman.
tested first.
No, Verol, I don't know if it's. It's not a. There are women. That is just how women. That is. I feel like that is a woman. That like women judge that by attractiveness. Because they say, okay.
No, I've met. I will stick with. There are a lot of women because I have met women
that say that.
That say if they realize that a guy is with a girl. They have no interest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. So I don't mean necessarily that, I'm having a full-on girlfriend. But now if a girl see you with another girl, it's kind of like, okay, this guy, he's attractive.
So, I mean, somebody they would even say something must be there. So.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
I mean,
you could be an abusive person or a cheater like this person.
No, to me, it's like I just how I rationalize it now is just I just say, boy, it's just how they see attractiveness as a woman. Because as a man, if I see a girl who have wide hips, big breasts, and she look on her face proper, man say, yo, Jano. But not even care say, yo, she have a man, probably man say, Jano, that girl that look good. I don't know if she have a man, but not really, but, and I feel like how women work
wouldn't.
yeah. But how women work is them see a guy where clearly seems to be charismatic because him have, I don't shit on honey, because bare bees around him. You know what I mean? It's a lot of other girls are around him.
It's one bee.
And yeah, but it's still more than the next man. Cause enough man move to them when I'm not really not a girl. So it's just kind of, to me, it's just to them just say, oh, that guy there is attractive. Cause one other girl would probably hotter than her find him attractive.
I get what you're saying. I definitely understand it.
Yeah, it's just kind of how me kind of, but just understand how it works. I'm just kind of say, okay, that is how it is. If that is how it is in the dating scene, you just it don't make no sense for complain or you would try to work with it. Because there's a part of me who says, John, oh, this rough. But now me just say, yo, if that's how the game is, you just have to play it.
I think you need to give your
yes, girl, please.
What was his base question? What should he do?
Yeah.
Boy, actions have consequences.
Okay.
Right?
So you should do that.
And his situation was built on dishonesty, right? And there were so many aspects to that were so much outside of his control that it all tumbled down, right? And so you reap your soul. So you're in a house.
I feel like you're get one of them.
So you soon come to that.
Okay.
This stress that he's experiencing now, right?
Yeah.
He's he's not in his own space. He's paying most of the rent. So isn't his
it must be his space.
Anyways,
He's paying rent,
right? He's in a household, his brother's household, with his sister-in-law and their children. And sister-in-law love one of the girls versus the other. The brother-in-law seems to be a hands-off, not commenting.
Which is a smart thing,
right? But in this same woman, so now he for leave.
Yeah, so he have to leave, which is him not left.
And it's just one big spider web that wasn't constructed well. Now, is it possible for him to ultimately stick with at least one of the girls?
Of course.
It's possible, very much possible.
Well, I don't say one of them is I choose you.
Isn't it that one of them? Isn't in a situation it's stated? Yeah, but in a situation, one of the girls said to the other one that you need to
take away.
Right. So chances are he will end up with one of the girls, but she will probably not be the only one for very long.
I have a question.
Hold on.
Should he choose one? Or should he just kind of like take away himself and kind of like understand himself more and read?
That's a healthy thing.
Okay. That's not his question. He is there. So,
the word gets challenging because in your mind you might think what might be best for you, but then it's like, yeah, but what do you want?
As a psychologist, that's a question I'll ask. You come to me with this. So, what do you want? Right?
You do like contingency plans?
What's that?
In terms of
like, okay, so this is what you say you want to do. All right. So in my professional opinion, maybe you're gonna put the pre that. These things might happen if you choose that route.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course. I said, okay, what is it you want? All right. In those situations, I love playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
So, because that's how my mind works naturally. So what if this happens? Then we throw this in. We subtract this and we put in that. Just so that everything is just there for him to see, and then hopefully can make the right decision for him.
For himself.
For him. Not for me, but for him.
Because I'm looking at this and I'm like, yo, this dude could just choose one, That's like the simple, logical thing, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you choose one. But you would probably just cheat again.
Yeah.
But the thing is, again, what is it that he wants? Alright? So because I would ask, so why not just be honest about wanting to have multiple relationships?
That's a great point.
Mm-hmm. If you want to have multiple relationships, just be honest and say, well, would it be harder to find women who would agree to having multiple women? Probably. But would you be okay with them having multiple partners?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
I've asked that question before.
And I feel like, would women want multiple partners like that? Because to be honest, if a woman is the one that says she wants an open relationship, she probably don't like the guy that much. And she want to keep her options open. If a man say they want to have their open relationship, I personally believe they don't like the girl that much, because to be honest, like if I love somebody, we kind of want to be a one brother.
Yes.
But my point is, normally if it's an open relationship, on the guy's part, that's understandable.
It's not being met.
Yeah, there's something that's lacking, and it needs to be addressed in the relationship.
I'm very careful, especially in situations like these. I'm very careful in using my ethical measure and moral measuring rod and applying it to other persons.
Yeah.
And so it's important for me to understand their moral system and their perspective, and I work with that. So yeah, I'll leave that one right there.
Yeah, that's a very good.
You don't want another one or anything?
I gotta edit all of this.
Okay. You edit it?
Yeah.
It's one. Okay. Cool.
2 mics.
Yeah.
2 systems of mics.
You just lay the audio track and
Line it up.
Yeah, you just line it up, make sure it's sync. Yeah. You just have to raise your levels a little bit more than mine.
We will see when the time comes. You'll be surprised.
Is it the ambient?
You'll be surprised.
If you're using Premiere, I'll tell you afterwards.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you what to do. Yeah. All right.
Stephen, thank you so much.
Very lively.
A number of things were discussed today. We got all over the place. But yeah, I'm really grateful for this conversation, Stephen.
Okay.
Any last words for the people of Unheard?
therapyja.com. Yeah, Psychologist.
Yeah, man. Please.
Therapyja.com. If you guys want to just check out, what therapists are out there. Some of the therapists have reviews on them. That is true.
Oh.
Yeah, and as I say, it's right now it's just a website. You can find the therapist, reach out to them, schedule an appointment. Simple things. In the future, I want to make sure that there's a way for confidentiality and for to do. I want to set it up where it's remote, where somebody can reach out to a therapist to do a remote session. You guys do remote sessions?
Teletherapy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but yeah, man. So yeah, that's just therapyja.com. Follow on TikTok as well, on Instagram. We do a lot of recaps and just funny segments and clips. Yeah, but yeah, man, that's it, man.
All right.
Yeah. So
Verol here.
Here.
Another episode of Unheard. Big up to KAHLE Journey and Dr. K.D. Morgan and Associates. You can find us at 68 Lady Musgrave Road. See us on social media all over the place. We're doing a lot of things. Big up on yourself. Much respect.